do you class yourself as an experimentalist? Is that sort of the camp within which you sit?
Yeah, you know what? I don't like labels at all. So maybe I'm a bit controversial in the sense, but a lot of astronomers, maybe astronomer is a label I'm okay with, but a lot of astronomers would split themselves up into categories of theorist, modeler, or observer. There'd probably be your three categories of astronomer: theorist, modeler, or observer. A modeler kind of sits in between those two. The theorists who do like pen and paper math and they're working stuff out on the blackboard, the observers who are going to the telescope collecting data, and the modelers who are trying to connect the two worlds to each other. And I do all three. So that's why I don't really like a specific label. And I also just think, in general, advice I give to students is that it's not useful or conducive to work with such a label. If you tell yourself you're an observer, then it's like someone saying, I can't do math. And I hear this all the time. There's so many students who come into the classroom and say, I've never been able to do math. I can't do math. It's all gobbledygook to me. And if you approach, the world with that mindset, then of course you won't be able to do math. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You've predestined that you can't do math. And so I think calling yourself an observer can have negative connotations, like that was negative self connotations, that you think, therefore I can't do X, Y, or Z. So I prefer personally to really not work with those labels, not because I'm trying to be pretentious, but just because I think it doesn't serve any purpose for me thinking about the things that I can and can't do. And even with astronomy, like I'd prefer not even to really be an astronomer, because I like a bit of philosophy. I like thinking about astrobiology. I like thinking about the connections to biology and the chemical world as well. So I don't really want to be, and statistics, I write a lot of just almost pure statistics papers. So I don't want to be in any one camp. And I think that's how it was back in the day. There was just these polymaths that just worked on everything. And that was beautiful because they could see connections between things that you would miss. And we live in an academic world right now that really promotes extreme specialization. Not only are you an astronomer, you are an exoplanet astronomer. And over you an exoplanet astronomer, you're an exoplanet atmosphere astronomer. And only you an atmosphere astronomer, you're a cloud astronomer. It gets like more and more niche. And like literally I'll bump into students at meetings and postdocs who will say, oh, I'm a cloud specialist. And that's great, but don't you think about other aspects as well? Because if you're not thinking about the chemistry on the surface, how can you possibly connect that to the chemistry in the atmosphere? All these things are connected to each other in some way. So yeah, a bit of a rant there, but I just don't think it's particularly useful personally to operate with a label. And it's kind of one of my pet peeves that in the world of academia, we have become overly specialized and niche in our interests.
Yeah, that specialization being for insects.